Hello, hello. Welcome back. This one is going into production very quickly. After the last one, it's a lot quicker than most of the previous ones. Today, welcome back to the Pink Floyd Completion Project. Today, we are looking at Obscured by Clouds. It's a pretty decent album. So yeah, after Metal, uh, like Pink Floyd, the album didn't sell the greatest, but it got like fucking high critical reviews even at the time, and over 50 years later, people are still raving about it, including me, as you saw in the last one. Um, but they like Pink Floyd were approached to do another movie soundtrack, and this album is the soundtrack to the movie La Vallée, which is a French movie, which I believe, and I believe the title, or no, it's either Italian or French. If it's French, I'm never gonna watch it. If it's Italian, it's unlikely that I'm gonna watch it. But, um, but like I haven't seen the movie. The music on this album is pretty good. It's pretty good. It definitely follows in Metal's footsteps. And the whole thing was recorded over the course of like 4 weeks. No, not even 4 weeks. Like 4 days in 1972 in France, and it's like for 4 days of work, it is not. It's a pretty damn good album. So yeah, the title track, Obscured by Clouds, it begins with a low synth note, and then it becomes this awesome blues jam. And then that follows with When You're In, which is another instrumental blues track. Those two should have been grouped together as the same song. Just saying. Maybe that would have resulted in it becoming the longest song on the album. Although the longest song on the album is pretty eh. If we're gonna be honest, and it's the closing song too. But we will get there when we get there. Also, I'm not using an external microphone today. I am gonna see how this turns out, and if the audio is in mono again, well, I'm going back to using a microphone, and I'm still gonna sit here. But yeah, so when you're in, it is more blues. It's equally cool, and then Burning Bridges. It is the first vocal track of the album. Like it has this very mellow. It is this very mellow organ jam. Like Dave's vocal is very present, and then he and Rick trade off vocals and eventually start harmonizing, which sounds amazing as always. The Gold, it's in the. That's the title of the song. The Gold, it's in the. And it's a Dave-driven blues jam, highly underrated, and there's an excellent solo. Um, like What's the Deal? Like a pleasant acoustic number. It has similar vibes to Fearless. If I'm honest, Dave sings it again. Uh, Again, underrated. This whole album is underrated. This is kind of the forgotten Floyd album because whenever you watch a documentary, it always goes Metal, Dark Side. No, they did two other things in between that, but we will get to the second thing in the next episode. I'll tell you what it is at the end of this episode. Um, yeah. Mudman, it shares its melody with the first two songs, and it's a Rick-driven instrumental until Dave's solo kicks in, and then it becomes awesome. Um, yeah, Childhood's End, not to be confused with the Marillion song, or I guess the Marillion song is not to be confused with this. I don't know if I'll ever talk about Marillion, probably not. But yeah, it fades in with organ, becomes another excellent blues number sung by Dave. Free 4, only song sung by Roger on the album. Reminds me of Saint Tropez, but less jazzy. And then Dave has another cool solo. Like he rips another cool solo. Stay. It's a soft piano intro, accompanied by Dave's guitar licks, and it is sung by Rick. And then the worst song on the album, Absolutely Curtains. It's like this ominous beginning. You think it's going to turn into something. It doesn't. It's a pretty meh jam by Rick. And then it just ends with this obnoxious tribal chanting, like, that I do not like in the slightest. So that was Obscured by Clouds. This one is up to your own personal judgment. I mean, it's like, I think you can, even if you're not a Floyd fan, I think you can get something out of it. If you are a Floyd fan, I think you should definitely listen to it semi-frequently. I don't own it on CD or vinyl. I want to get it at some point. But it's just not on the priority list. And I get it. There's kind of a reason this album is forgotten, is because the two things following this, or basically everything following this, kicks its ass. But outside of Metal and Obscured by Clouds, or not obscured, outside of Metal and Atom Heart Mother, it kicks the ass of every album that came before it. So, like, which granted is like 3 albums in the Floyd discography. Well, a little more than that, but yeah, it's decent. Like, I recommend it. I think you should listen to it. I don't think it's one of those albums that you need to hear before you die. It's not an essential album, but if you're a Floyd fan, you should definitely listen to it a couple of times. Like, I've listened to it a couple of times even before doing this. Yeah, I think, yeah, that'll about do it. It's underrated. This is, the Floyd album that is truly underrated and needs to get a little bit more praise than it does. So yeah, with that, that's gonna be the end of it. If you want to see me talk about stuff other than, or hold on, I've gotta do my intro correctly. If you liked this video, leave a like on it. If you want to continue down this musical journey with me, hit subscribe. If you want to see me talk about stuff other than music, I have a podcast with 2 of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. There are 2 episodes in the pipeline right now, and I will link the most recent one that was uploaded in the description of this. Yep. If you want to hear me talk about stuff other than music, go watch Dorkies. If you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, or at the very least a 15-second segment of it, you can follow me on Instagram at Sean_Heaster1979. And with that, I am going to leave you. Next time, we are going to be looking at the first entirely live album, or technically concert film, of this series. Ladies and gentlemen, next time we are looking at Live at Pompeii. See you in that one. That one's going to be fucking great.